Look who's in the
Yo,
building.
what up? What up? What up? What's up,
Was
man?
was good, champ? Nonito Donaire, living legend, living legend. You got the Fountain of Youth back with 2 straight stoppages. Whatever you drink, man. Whatever you eat and drink, and I need that, man.
That's right here. It's all right here. It's
Yeah,
believing
man.
in yourself, man. You know, something I've learned throughout the whole game is when you start to believe you're getting old, you know, when you start to tell yourself you're getting old, then you start to believe in it. You start to believe in what you're telling yourself, you know, constantly. And you know, going back into how people play into the hype. When people start listening to the hype, they start to fall into the hype, and we'll see a lot of those guys. I fell into that hype. I fell into that part where I was the guy who was you know, just making people try to strike me out, and then I'll try to hit a home run. You know,
Yeah.
I was playing that hype, and going back into it, it's all the mindset, it's all the mentality, it's all into how you believe that you can do.
Yeah, man, it's true, man. When we was talking, when we was chopping it up on when you were in the chat, and we was talking about the certain things that people really don't like to talk about. You know, boxing has, in my opinion, has like a secret society. You know, you can't. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing when you get, in the business sense, get effed over. So you don't want to say it publicly. So you don't want to teach others because you don't want to let the whole people know that you got played in the boxing community. So then it's hard for other people to teach the other ones, But me, I advise several fighters now, and so I see different things. I tell the people, if you know too much about the business of boxing, you start hating the sport. You start looking at the sport a whole different way.
Right. Well, like everything in life, from the government to whatever it is, right? There's always a bigger society behind all of the things, from all the businesses. There's always something behind it that's funding it or that's running it. And the same thing goes with boxing. I mean, you'll see a lot of the guys. It's either you play their game or you don't play at all. And they'll sit you out for a long time. I've been there. And I paid my dues, but there's a lot of things that goes behind it, and knowing and understanding that, like you said, it makes you not hate it, but it just makes you wonder why, because all these guys work so hard, and like myself, we work so hard, we do everything that we can, but we are just a pawn in the game.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you break away from that? Like, how do you break away from that being that pawn in the game? Like I know
it takes time. It takes years, it takes names, it takes effort, it takes beyond yourselves to do that. Like, for instance, De La Hoya, Mayweather, they made themselves, they created themselves, they got out of the change, they got out of the cage and allowed themselves to be like one of them. To get there. But it's a certain few that gets there, and then it's a certain few that it's a certain few that allows them to what's the word, to man up, to man up, because a lot of people tell the story. There's a lot of people that tells a story and say, what, I'm just a boxer, I'm just a 40-year-old man, I'm just this, I'm just that. There's always a constant story behind them that limits the person from jumping into creating themselves to do something else. But you get guys like Oscar, you get guys like Floyd, you get guys like these, who goes beyond the look of just being a fighter, and myself, I got my voice, because I've been in the game for a long time. I'm not the kind of guy that just gets forced to do what they want me to do, and I've created that respect from a lot of promoters, a lot of people. And of course, I'm working with Probellum, who's there for the people and who's there for the boxers.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, they signed a lot of fighters. So you with Probella? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I'm with Probellum, with Richard. I've always been with him since I moved from a different promotion. Now I came with Richard, and I just followed him. We became really, really good friends, and I believe in my heart, from my experience, he's there for the boxers.
Yeah, it's like you've been independent for a while, so I don't even attach Nonito Donaire with nobody. So for real, I'm thinking like, you just got the contract with the networks. Is your name. There's certain fighters that they they don't need promotion. Like Nonito
Right.
Donaire don't need everybody knows that know you. You know, you're a walking Hall of Famer. So at this point, we know who you are. We know what you bring to the table. We know the straps and things of that nature. You know, everybody wants a piece of Nonito Donaire. Unless Nonito Donaire want a piece of you and you got a title like Inoue or Casimero, it is what
Right.
it is. But what you said earlier about, you know, you in the position to do and move the way that you want to move, which a lot of fighters may be scared to move that way, you know, and you showed that this summer, you know, when people was like, you know, you felt that your wife was disrespected and everybody was like, but come on, you know how the boxing world is so barbaric. They don't give a damn. There's no rules and there's no boundaries. You set that line, you set that boundary where
well,
ain't
that's
no
one
money.
of the thing, you know, that's one of the thing is I always stand for what I believe. And you know, but mainly that's, you know, there's a lot of things I was playing behind it, you know, the testing, you know, the games and they're, you know, that they're constantly, I feel that they were constantly kind of expanding the time, you know, when they said, okay, we got it signed and we checked it, didn't get it signed, you know, it just came to the point where, and then all this disrespect, I'm like, look, I'm not playing your game. I am not, I've been in this game for too long, you know,
I could
20,
teach you the
20
game.
21 years, you know, I'm not going to play. And then, so I said, you know what, I'm done with this game. You know, you guys going to respect my wife. You're going to respect the game. You're going to respect the rules, and, you know, and we'll make it happen. And then that didn't happen, obviously. And then we tried it again, you know, and I think it was after the Rigondeaux fight, then we tried to make the fight happen. And so I signed the contract, and then weeks came in, and there was no contract coming back at me. So I you know, we talked to promoters you know, with Al Heyman and those guys. And, you know, they were telling me that they never received the contract from the guy. So we went on in this YouTube thing with him face to face. You know, I'm like, hey, you guys didn't sign the contract. And then, you know, from his word, and I got that on video, he's like, I never got the contract. So, and then it came to a point that they did have some kind of issues in their camp that was going on, and the fight never happened because of that fact. You know, but there's a lot of, like I said, man, there's a lot of thing that goes behind that people don't know about.
Exactly. That's all, and that's what, no lie, in the beginning of the show, I'm telling people, like, so much people get carried away. YouTube, you know, we have a lot of channels, independent media, Twitter, Instagram. People go back and forth, and sometimes I'm listening, like, people go back and forth about a business that you don't have no clue what the hell's going on. What is this 60-40, 70-30 y'all talking about? And oh, you don't know about boxing, and people just go, and it's like, yo, we don't know nothing. How can we come up with this whole 3 hours or 2 hours, whatever it is, about this person's pockets, this person's percentage? It's like Dillian White and Tyson Fury, 80-20. I don't know what's in 80, and I don't know what's in this 20. How I'm gonna be talking about something I don't know?
Right. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, is that's the beauty of being human beings. We have our own thoughts to do it, but at the same time, it's also a detriment to a lot of things, because we start to create our own perspective, and then people think that's facts, and then it spreads to one side, it spreads to another, and then next thing you know, it's facts, you know, and it's really not, because there's no clarity behind it. There's really nothing that allows them the factual answer, you know. And again, because of social media, it you know, from one word to another, it spreads, you know, and it becomes facts to a lot of people, because, you know, they hear it, and then they don't really, you know, they don't really care to clarify if it's true or not. They're just gonna go what the masses are speaking about, and then it becomes facts, you know. You know, so yeah, man.
Yo, what you feel? Let me ask you this, because I like Nonito. I like you, and I like Inoue, and I like the way that you took that body shot. I said it before the fight.
It hurt. It hurt. But I ain't about to quit, man. That's it.
And prior to the fight, I said, Inoue might barbecue the ribs on Nonito Donaire. He's gonna barbecue. He's gonna be like, and it actually did happen. But you showed everybody, you know, your heart, your grit, your determination. And I'm just assuming. I'm assuming, and of course, I can't say it's a fighter because I always have the confidence. But I'm assuming that now, I think when you fought Nonito, when you fought Inoue the first time, it was more about the boxer saying, "Is this going to be the last run? Is it going to be the last fight for Nonito Donaire? Is it going to be the last?" So I don't think a lot of people gave it that much confidence. But now that you were champion and what you did to Obali and your last opponent, it's like, all right, his next fight, the analysis is not going to be, is this going to be the last fight, Nonito? Because that's it. He already showed us. He already debunked this narrative or the thought that. It
Yeah,
like
I go day by day, day by day. You know, when I do wake up in the morning and I'm excited still, I'm gonna keep going. You know, the thing is, it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be many more years. All I know is that when I do stop, it stops. You know, because I'm not gonna be able to do this for the rest of my life. All I know is I'm grateful for the time that I have, and you know, tomorrow is never promised. So therefore, I'm gonna do the best that I can, and every day when I do wake up and excited for the next, I'm gonna be excited for the next. You know,
are you?
but I do want this year my name and Undisputed together.
Ooh, hey, and you're in your
Yes,
decision to do so. Are you?
yes,
Are you?
sir.
Are you more? See, I was gonna ask this question, but then it's like cliche. But are you more confident going inside, going inside that ring versus Inoue now than you did the first time?
100%, 100%. I came into the fight only fighting. In the
Exactly.
last two fights, you see the strategic Nonito Donaire that you've seen in the past. I strategize. I'm 10 step ahead of everybody, you know, and of course, I have an amazing part that reminds me constantly, that makes me listen to do what I need to do, and that's my wife, my coach, my trainer, my head strength and conditioning, and that's something that hasn't been done in a very long time, where I'm doing what I strategize for, what we strategize for. You know, as before, it was just I'm gonna try to take you out, or you try to take you can take me out, or I take you out. That was it. When I fought him the first time, that was the mentality. It's like, you take me out, I take you out.
So
You
now you
know, and
just
this time,
execute. You executing the game plan now. Like
yes, and I think that's the biggest thing of why I'm coming back so fresh, and just I guess for the lack of word, impressive, or you know, more of a political word is, you know, I'm doing what I am putting myself into. You know, I'm creating all the strategic ways, a strategic move of what the game plan we've set in the gym. You know, we've done a lot of it, and the thing is, we don't just have one plan. We have two, we have three, we have four, we have five. You know, and whatever decision that he takes it in, or ways that he takes the direction of the fight, we're ready for that. And that's the biggest difference before and now, is because now I'm using this like I've always done in the past.
Yeah, and I like that you emphasize that the person in your corner, your trainer, your wife, your strength conditioning coach, is somebody that you could listen to.
Yep.
Like I see, I'll debate about other fighters that they be like, oh, yo, he need to get this trainer, he need to get this trainer. I say, look, Angelo Dundee and Casimero could come from the grave and be in your corner, but if you don't have no chemistry with them, ain't
Amen.
nothing they're gonna do.
Amen. Amen. It's very true. It doesn't matter how good the trainer is. If you can't even listen to a single word he's saying, it's useless. You know, with me and my wife, we talk about it in the middle of the night. We wake up in the middle of the night. Hey, let's do this. You know, we know exactly. I swear to God, man, we just get up and like, hey, what if we do this? What if we do that? You know, so when she speaks on something, I already know where she's going with it. Not only that we have the chemistry as a partner, but we have the chemistry of the way we put our game plans together. It's there 24/7. It's not something that's just been talked in the gym. It's been talked 24/7 whenever we feel like talking about it. And so when she speak on something, I already know what's going on, where she's going with it, you know, and I know I have to pick it up. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the chemistry, because in this sport, it's seconds. There's no timeout. There's no 20-second timeout. Hold on, let's get this thing together. So the voice have to be like intertwined, and that's cool. That's cool that you have that relationship, and I think that's motivation for everybody. You know, as motivation.
Well, I think it's just being smart about it, you know, and taking the cliche or the traditional notion of a woman can't be in the corner, or a woman can't do this, or a woman can't do that, or you should get the best trainer in the world, you should get the smartest trainer in the world. None of those doesn't matter if the game plan is not being implemented, you know. And so when we before we go to fight, we have all this game plan, and sometimes with the rush and with the fight going so fast, you forget, you know, what you're intending to do and stuff like that. But because of the fact that you talked about it with somebody that you listen to, or you constantly have a conversation, and it's a normal conversation that you know, you hear and listen to it constantly, that when the words are spoken, you know exactly what's happening, and you're reminded of what needs to be done, you know. And I think that's the biggest difference between the fights previous in many years to now.
Yeah, that's good. And you're actually comfortable with the weight class. But you'll move up or you'll move down, right? Didn't you say?
See, that's the thing that people don't understand. I was 106 when I started boxing, professional. And then I went up to 112, I went up to 115, I went up to 118 because there was nobody in the division.
Yeah.
You know, I was fluctuating up and down until I became a world champion at 112 when they gave me the opportunity with Darchinyan. Then I just started to chase him to get the rematch again, to prove to the people that wasn't a fluke, you know. That never happened in you know, until like later on. But then I started to put my mind into challenging myself, because I feel that I need to challenge myself. If I'm stagnant, I feel that I get complacent. And so I just keep moving up, you know, thinking that, you know, it's not going to be that much of a big deal. But it changed my whole fighting system, you know, my whole fighting ways.
So is it true that you will want the winner of Estrada and Chocolatito? Would you like that?
I can do it. I do want to put myself in it, because that gives, you know, just for those guys. I definitely want to go for those guys. You know, it's like if I go up to 126, it would be for Abner Mares or Leo Santa Cruz, you know, because they were the guy my weight that just kind of went up. And then Chocolatito was also always on the lowest level, on the lower level, but it was always in the same time as I am. So there was just kind of that maybe possibility. But then if that's possible, I would definitely go for
that would be
for Estrada and Chocolatito, you know.
I
think it would be a good fight. I'm all for the fight. You know, I've done it. You know, this is what I love doing. You know, so
that's to be legendary right there. Because I feel like Estrada and Chocolatitos is two future Hall of Famers as well. So both of y'all, whoever, if Estrada, you or Chocolatito, you,
whoever gets a belt, man, I'm going after it. I'm taking my fifth division division champion.
I love it, man. I love it. I think and look, I think the boxing is real good. I think that now we're not looking at the middleweight division, the heavyweight division, lightweight division, and welterweight division as being stacked up. But you look at the 118, you look at the 122, 26, 30. It's like, man, look, we're talking about Canelo Alvarez for fighting Makabu and cruiserweight. You know,
that's crazy to me, man. But hey, you know, once you get to a point where you're big enough and you still got the power going up, I mean, why not? You know, I mean, people have their own ways of doing the things that they're doing, man. You know.
Let me ask you a question about this person that many people have so much opinions of, but never heard of. Only got 3 Google pictures of him. Al Heyman. What do you feel he's done for the sport of boxing and for the fighters that he has worked with?
I mean, he's continued the boxing world. He's continued the business. He's continued putting more world champions in, you know, putting him in more TV fights. You know, I mean, it's very difficult because you've never met the guy, you know. He's a shadow, you know.
He's the ghost. He's the ghost.
Yeah. So, but he's putting some fights in there. He's putting a lot of my fights, you know. So, I mean, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. But to say anything otherwise, I've never really talked to the man to say that I know anything or his game plans or anything beyond that, you know.
Okay. All right. So yeah, because I gotta ask sometimes the fighters about the ghosts, man. And I mean the ghosts in a good way. You know what I'm saying? The ghosts in a good way.
I mean, he's putting fights out there, you know, and sometimes you're doing it for a long time, you know, there's I guess the passion starts to dissipate a little bit, you know, and that might be a part ahead of all of this. But then you also got Probellum, who's kind of, if anything does happen to other promotion, Probellum was definitely going to be there to kind of catch the game. And I know Richard, he doesn't mind fighting his fighter with anybody else and working with any promoter out there.
Can you tell us more about Probella? Because I've known about Probella, but I never went into sync to really. I know they working with certain fighters, but really never went into sync into what's their plan. You know, I thought it was going to be more of a European. He was going to go outside of the U.S. But can you explain a little bit more about Probella's plan?
Well, from what I have spoken, what I've gathered in you know, in a little bit of time speaking with Richard, you know, they want to work with people. They want to work with promoters around the world, you know, co-promoting around the world, so that the whole world is, or the whole fighters around the world are being seen, you know, in that aspect, meaning that, you know, they just want everyone to kind of work together. You know, I don't know exactly what their plans are. You know, I'm not in their conversation to do what they want to do, but from what I've seen, you know, and from what I myself, you know, putting the Filipinos into the map and working with Probellum, working with promoters from around the world to get them to promote their fighters in the Philippines, and you know, perhaps getting them in a bigger stage, you know. And I think that's just something, the beauty of it is that Probellum is kind of just spreading their wings and kind of, you know, getting everybody to be together, you know, from what I'm seeing, of course. And of course, this is just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man. We was talking earlier about what would you tell a young fighter that's coming into the business? I was saying, get your own attorney, go into the negotiation. You know, anytime your managers are having a negotiation, you should be in the room. What would you tell from your experience about young fighters? I know fighters that have signed blindly. They just sign signatures and they don't know what the hell's going on. Some of them just care about bonus money. What would you tell about how to handle boxing? You know, because promotion.
I mean, you know, I was one of those kids, man. I was one of those kids who signed blindly, you know, because it was an opportunity, you know, and then you get a little bit of signing bonus, or you get a little monthly. You think that's gonna help, you know. And to me, I think if you have a name in the amateurs and people are chasing you, not just 1, 2, 3 agents or managers coming after you and promoters coming after you, you know, when you do sign something, you got to know exactly what's written in there. Because I know for a fact a few fighters who has been stuck with one single promoter until the promoters let them go. You know, they really can't do nothing. Is because they pretty much signed their lives, you know, and their career, you know. And so for all the guys, the young guys out there, man, make sure you value yourself and make sure that you do look at the fine print, you know, what's written in that contract. If you have something to say, speak about it. Don't be shy. You know, they're coming to you for a reason, to want to sign you, meaning that there is a time for you to negotiate something.
Yeah.
You know, you probably don't want to ask for a whole hand and everything else, right? You want to be fair to yourself, you know, but don't ever get yourself stuck that if you win a title, that you're stuck for a few years or a few fights or stuff like that. I think there should be a print in there that is for both to decide, not just the promoters to decide. A lot of fighters like myself, you know, fell into that trap where it was just one-sided.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's
and then of course my wife came into the picture. She's like, nope, I don't like this. That's why they don't like her, you know, because she was the voice. You know, when she didn't like nothing, it was like, for me, it was like, I just want to fight. You know, I just want to fight. But I didn't look at behind that. You know, I'm grateful that she's like, oh, this is one side, until they made it to a point where it was mutual for both of us, for both sides, you know. And that's something that a lot of these fighters need to understand, that you can't just give yourself and your career to one part.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's also another part that the fans, they tend not to care or understand. Like they want you to, it's funny, the boxing fans want you to fight, but don't want you to fight for yourself.
Yeah,
You understand? They don't.
it's ironic, you know, because you know, I mean, I guess it is entertainment, right? Are you not entertained? Right? You know,
There.
yes, exactly. So it's they'll only want something of what they want to see, but behind that, they don't understand that we are fighting for our lives, we are fighting for our career, we are fighting for what is right for us. And sometimes fight don't happen is because there's just too many things that that I mean that they're taken away from, and they're gonna try to sit you out for a very long time to make you succumb to their demands. I mean, there was times where I didn't fight for almost a year and a half or two, because of the contract that we disputed, and we didn't want to to uh was it 10 months, 2 months? Well, whatever. It felt like it was 2 years to me. That's a manager, so, but yeah.
Hector Saviola said, "How the heck do you punch so hard, champ?"
Hector, this is what it's all about. Balance. And the way you do it properly, is having the right stance and getting your whole body to move at the same time. And that's the biggest thing that people, you see a lot of these guys, they hit hard, but they're all arms. They're just moving arms. As compared to bam, you're using your whole body from every part of your body, from your toes to your finger, from your back to, you got to learn to throw it all at the same time. People don't know how to properly put the stance where they can have the twerk, the
torque,
movement, the torque, the shoulder, the back, all of that stuff. All the muscles are being utilized. And of course, I do have a blessed body, that has a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers compared to a lot of the guys.
That's, man, that's 39 years old, man.
Still going.
Still going.
It ain't stopping, man. It ain't stopping.
And look more motivated than ever.
I think that's the biggest factor, man. It's just that, after I fought with Inoue, I realized, man, I am fighting in mediocre. I gotta go back to who I was, and that's why when I came back stronger. I started doing what I did before, which is the strength and conditioning. That my wife is there again doing it. With the strength and conditioning, I'm starting to get my fast twitch back all over again. But mainly, I'm seeing all the punches coming back again, and it's not the age that you lose your reflex. I mean, people think and people see that, and see it all the time is because people don't. The older we get, we start to get lazy, and we start to use the muscle in laziness. Compared to if you were doing it when you're hungry, you're utilizing the muscle. So when you utilize your muscle constantly, you never lose it. But because when you get older, you start to get lazy. You stop using the right muscles, and then you start to lose all that reflex, but it's all the mindset. It's all the mentality. If you can't get your mind to fight right, you can't get your body to fight right.
True, man. True. That's a good way to put it. Samir said, Nonito, what's the best advice you could give to a fighter after a loss? As yourself, you've been a warrior and continuously rising to the occasion and proving what's all about.
You got to look into yourself. A lot of people look behind that and they go, man, it's got to get better. How are you going to get better if you don't if you go beyond yourself? You got to look at where your mind was at that time, what you did at that time, what made you lose that fight, and go from there. But never dwell on the negativity, because that'll just get you to a level of being buried deeper. You always want to look at the positivity and take in why you lost the fight. This is what I needed to do. I did this and I got caught with it, or whatever the case of it. But know that you can only improve from that point on. I believe that the dark part of your life is what makes us better, not the victory, not the light, not the happiness. You know, the happiness will make us happy and live good, but the dark part is what gets us to that level.
Man, preach, Pastor
Telling you, man.
Nonito.
I am telling you, bro.
It's Sunday, man. You just
this is what I'm saying. You know, this is what I'm saying. This is what made me who I am. You know, if people go beyond themselves when darkness comes around them, when darkness envelop themselves, they go and try to reach for the light without understanding why the darkness is there. You know, if you go beyond that, it's always gonna cover you up when despair comes around. You know, it's yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Because I was gonna say, just listening to you, it's like you're a spiritual person. I was gonna say,
I'm a very spiritual person, man.
You see, I could listen to that. How important is spirituality to you?
Spirituality is an ascension to leveling yourselves up, meaning that, you know, in times of happiness and fulfillment, you find it being spiritual because you're no longer bound by the materialistic. You're no longer bound by anger. You're no longer bound by resentment. You're no longer bound by your past, because now you can allow yourselves to be free by letting them go. And this is why I'm at the level of myself now, is because I let go of why I lost. I let go of who I was. You know, I was one of the greatest fighter, or I wanted one of the best fighter in my time. Like, I'm no longer in that time. I'm at the level now that I am who I am because of those. You know, and I can learn from that, and I can let go of all the fears of age, of all of that, because I understand that life is you, you know, life is what you make things to be. You know, life is a free choice, is an energy that is bound to your desire only if you believe in it. People have such fears in believing that they don't become what they want to be. And that's why you see a lot of fighters, world champions, who are defeated, and they get stuck and they get hurt, you know, and they never ascend to learning because they never let go. Because they never got to an understanding in life that letting go is allowing yourself to ascend to a higher being, a higher, you know, mind, a higher heart, you know, higher energy, higher vibration. You know, people don't understand that when you start to hold on to things, it's weight, and it's just going to drop you lower and lower, and it's going to dig you deeper and deeper. And you see those from a lot of world champions who are defeated, you know, and never gotten back. I mean, I've been defeated so many times, you know, I reinvented so many times. And then I get that one big defeat where I tried hard, and then I started to realize, I'm like, oh, wait, I don't need to try too hard. I just got to put everything that I know and trust in it. That's why now people say, aren't you nervous? I'm like, I don't think about the fight until I get to the fight. You know, because I already trust my body to do what it's going to do in training, to do what it's going to do inside that ring. So I don't have to think about anything else. All I know is allowing my body to be, meaning that I've let go of all the thoughts, meaning the thoughts don't exist anymore because I don't think about it no more. You know, all I know is that I'm going to trust what I need to do when I'm inside the ring. That's it. You know, thoughts don't exist, except that unless you pull it out in there and you entertain the thoughts, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm nervous now.
I mean, and when you have that preparation, when you prepare, you know, the way that you were supposed to prepare, then everything comes second nature. You know, everything is clicking.
But see, people can prepare 100%, and I used to prepare 100%. But when thoughts is always playing in your mind and you're not allowing it to let go, it can be the detriment in performing, because now there's nervousness. Now there's thoughts of, I might get hit. What if I get hit? The what if comes into the play, you know, is because you're allowing these thoughts to kind of, you know, enable, you know, to be assimilated in your body. And when you start to think of something, then your body reacts to it, and then your reaction comes into your action. You know, and it leads to one thing and another, like a domino effect. But if the root of thoughts was never assimilated, then it doesn't exist, because it's not in your body, it's not in your mind. You know, all I know is that when I go in there, I trust what my body that I train for. It's a muscle memory. You know.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You dropping gems after gems after gems.
And this is the thing too that I used to, again, when we do a lot of stuff, man, we we uh we tell a story.
Mhm.
When we do a lot of stuff, we tell stories of why we do the things that we do. Like, man, I'm getting tired because when you're telling yourself you're tired, you're telling. And this is one thing too, and I'm going back into different kind of things now. I'm just all over the place with this, because what you tell yourself becomes who you are. Going back into it, but and everything aspect of all of that. I mean, it's what you tell yourself ultimately.
Mhm.
From I guess what would I say? If I'm telling myself I'm old, I'm gonna move out there like an old man.
Yeah. Mhm.
If I'm and that's a choice to believe in it, right? And I think this is why for such a long time people started to believe in religion and in all this other aspect, in spirituality and all this other aspect, is because of the fact that faith and belief is such a powerful thing, because it makes us do things and what they call a miracle,
Yeah.
the placebo effects.
Uh-huh.
That's the power of beliefs. Now, when you start to get to a mindset of continuously believing in your thoughts, in your subconscious, then you start to implant that mindset to just be part of you. And what you say becomes who you are. And I think that it's a journey of life. It's a journey of life. And you got to get there. You don't just go in the first day and like, I believe in myself.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work, because you
Yeah.
never put the time, you never put the effort, you never put the emotion. See, that's one thing that people don't understand. In order for us to be imprinting the skills, you have to put the emotion in all aspect of the things that we say,
Yeah.
and that's where we come into powerful beings.
Yeah, I'm a damn spiritual enlightenment. I always be like, God first, everything second. Try to put God first in my life. Making decisions like that. Taylor Bell said, "Yo, Punch, did you say if he fighting Inoue the monster again? Hey, he
Yes,
said he
sir.
must be undisputed. Tell him,
This
Nonito."
year, that's my manifestation. That is me in my. If you see my vision board, it's me with all the belts, and me raising my hand, and that's gonna be it. And the undisputed champion of the world, Nonito, the Filipino Flash, Donaire.
That's what I'm
Undisputed champion of the world.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Fight fan, good looking out, fight fan. Appreciate that, my brother. Man, you feel hype right now. Look like you about.
I am, but it's the passion, baby. It's the passion. I'm ready to go.
That's Inoue. You listening to this?
That's right.
Translate or something, but you
Yeah.
Oh man.
Man, yeah. No, that's just that's just the beauty of it all, man. We are creator of our lives, man. We are the creator of our path. But in order for us to create the path that we want, we have to believe in it.
Yes.
Hey,
one of the legends have retired also. Manny Pacquiao, another Filipino warrior. Last time he won the title was 39 years old versus Keith Thurman.
There you go.
Is it a coincidence? What do you feel about your fellow Filipino warrior and briefly, because of course everybody already asked you this and they're gonna keep on asking you this, but briefly, what you feel about Manny Pacquiao and how Manny Pacquiao's career has motivated yours?
Man, he's motivated me a lot, inspired me, because when I turned pro, no one wanted to sign me because I was Filipino. During that time, people would always say Filipinos can't crack an egg, Filipinos this, Filipinos that, we don't want to sign them, and then Pacquiao came in the picture and started taking over the world, and I was then I started seeing, started going my way. And I was definitely inspired by the things that he did. It's because when he did something, he did it. He had all his heart into it. A lot of people would say from the first time you see him, they're like, he's not that skillful or whatever, but then he shows up one after another, fight after fight, and became the legend, one of the best fighter of all time. you know. So that's an inspiration for myself, you know. And I think that he made the right decision to retire, because there's just so many aspect in his body that wasn't complying anymore from the way he was training. You know, he's always trained hard. You know, for me, I've always trained hard, but I had to change the way I was training because of how my body worked. And sometimes people can't discern that because they're always into one thing, and that is doing the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, you break your body into pieces by doing the same thing over and over when you can't listen to it.
Facts. Don't need to check out Rap Star Boxing Knowledge. You got a YouTube channel. It's a good YouTube channel. And he asks, what made him get into boxing?
I don't know, man. I mean, hardship. You know, his hard. You know, growing up, we grew up in the same city in the Philippines. You know, and he you know, I remember being told by one of his guy, Boo Boy, you know, because they both went together. He wanted to go to Manila because in the province there's really no opportunity, so they wanted to go to Manila, and so he went with Pacquiao to Manila, and you know, and started his career. You know, started boxing and all that stuff in there, and you know, it was just another way, because in the Philippines it's very hard. It's very difficult because there's not jobs that's available for you. You know, I mean, there's so many college students who graduate college and don't get jobs. You know, jobs is very, very, very difficult to acquire. And so for him, boxing was the only thing for him to, you know, and he was very passionate when it comes down to it too. I mean, he's done it, you know, when he was like 14, you know, started like fighting, you know, all over the place. So, you know, I don't know too much about his life story, but I know for sure it was done through poverty. And
well, maybe I think maybe the question was to you. What made him? Maybe you. What made you start boxing?
Oh, okay. Me.
Hey, you was giving us his story, and don't worry, we like.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute, hold a minute. Yeah, because I was talking about Pacquiao, and when I read him, I'm like, okay, so he's referring to Pacquiao. Okay. Come on, man. Hey, okay. I was mistake. So for me, I got into it. My brother was boxing before I did. I mean, he, you know, it's so funny because I always thought I was a scaredy cat because I was always nervous. I was bullied. I was made fun of. I was all that stuff. That when my father said, "Do you want to box?" I said, "Hell no," you know. But when my brother started winning, the attention that my brother had, you know, and so I was like, you know what, Pops, let me try. Because I was doing it for my dad, you know, I wanted that attention. And of course, when you're 10, 11 years old, you want your father to be proud of you, you know. So for me, I did that. That's how I got into boxing, because, you know, I wanted my dad to be proud of me. I wanted him to see me that I was good as my brother was, you know. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Hey,
the rest was history.
Well, hey, one of the greatest of all times, Mike Tyson, you know, he was bullied as well. And now you say bully, you know, I had a show talking about fighters as bully and what it could, you know, what bully does to a person. We're just talking about life in general, you know. Do you carry that bully mentality? Do the little Nonito Donaire that got bullied, is he still in you?
I think so. This is why I think I'm so humble with a lot of things in my life, because, you know, that person was always just like, I don't need to fight. That's why I started to learn to myself that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. You know, that was like every time I get bullied, I just keep telling myself that over and over. You know, words can hurt me, words can hurt me, words can hurt me. You know, but part of me is still there. You know, but now into gratitude. I'm more into gratitude now. That person has gotten beyond the person, you know, who doesn't want to stand up for himself. Now I've grown up to be grateful. Like each day I'm always grateful, you know, for you know, and I'm teaching my kids every day, even in meditation. We used to do it every day before going to school. We would meditate in gratitude, you know. And for me, that little boy or that little person is still there, and this is why I can be grateful, because man, I'm finally out of the darkness. You know, I'm into the light now. Now that I'm into the light, now I'm thankful about life. You know, but then you get the guy inside the ring who's just mean. He's just mean.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he doesn't see anything. He's just more of like, for me inside the ring, I don't see no emotion. You know, I just go out there and just kind of like a robot. There's no emotion in my heart until the fight is done. That's it. You know, I just go out there, focus on the game plan, hurting this dude. You know, there's just no emotion.
So fighters is naturally bipolar. It's like this,
maybe multiple. No,
right?
Naturally, you have to learn to switch it off, because even for a long time, when me and my wife, we used to fight after the fight, because especially if it's an early fight, that person is still there, and I'm just mean, you know. Me and her used to go butt heads like crazy, you know, and then until I get to calm down, and I get to a pause, but it takes about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You know,
it's almost like an actor. When an actor, he says, you know, when he's studying for a role for months and months,
you got to embody.
And then he's shooting that role. And then it takes months to leave that character he was playing.
Yeah.
You know? So it becomes
part of your body. It becomes part of your system. You know, there's a message that you're telling your brain to be. You know, and it's giving that reaction to your body. You know, so I mean, it doesn't help that I'm eating all kinds of crap after the fight. You know, and it's sending a different signal from my gut to my brain, and I'm reacting accordingly. I mean, everything that we do, from the things that we eat, from the things that training and all that stuff, all affects the way we think. You know, people think that the way you think is just thinking about it and reading the books and being happy about stuff. No, it all comes down to how you eat the right way. You know, because it's creating those signals to your brain that's creating hormones for you to react differently. You know, all the things that we do has a correlation to why we are the way we are.
Do you think that also not including with your heart and determination and grit and preparation, but do you think that is now, because you can perform at a high level at your age, is that now technology has helped to also be educated on your body? You know, what food, like before people, I want to lose weight, but now people know exactly what food is healthy for you. That food may retain a lot of water and things of that nature, that you would think, oh, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating good cabbage, but that cabbage makes you, you know, that 2 pounds, that cabbage that you think is healthy still stays in your body, you know. So now you're more educated about your body now because of technology. Do you think that now it's also the reason why you still at a high level performer, because of technology and examining
100%. Now let me go back a couple years. When I started doing this stuff, we used to take this blood test, and it tells us the food intolerance, meaning that the food that we are intolerable to, that bloats us or that inflames us. You know, for me, it was rice, and I'm Filipino. I love rice.
I'm
rice. Not supposed to be eating rice, you know. So you know, and then for me, it was, you know, the things that doesn't bloat me, the food that success is great for my body was meat. And all kinds of meat, poultry, fish, you name it, all kinds of animal product. Anything vegetable was my body would fight it, would be inflamed, you know, except for like spinach and green leafy vegetables. But anything else from potatoes to corn to rice to peas, I would bloat up, you know. But knowing that those food was a detriment to my health, to my body, you know, then I started to go and utilize all of that stuff, you know, and this is why I could perform better. This is why my body hasn't aged as much as other people's have, you know. But one thing is a but, because every time, this is the thing of the human mind, we know what to do, but we never do what we should do.
Facts,
right? You know, and that's the thing, is you got to be able to understand it. Now, this is why I said when they interviewed me about choice day, is because sometimes, you know, there's so many things, you know, like when they said something about, do you have cheat days? I don't have cheat days, because I make the choice. I don't just cheat, you know. I take the words out of the cheat and say, it's my choice. It's my choice to eat. Like sometimes, like yesterday, you know what? I want to eat rice. I know rice is going to make me fart and all this other stuff and gets me bloated and stuff like that. But I want rice today. And I did. You know, my wife wasn't happy when she was there, because I was all over the place, you know, but but I made that choice. But knowing to take action on the choice that we make, we start to own our decision, which we have all our lives. It's just that we are always taking the accountability in situation,
Facts.
right? In what we were told, what we should do compared to what I need to do,
Facts.
and that's why we know what to do, but we just don't do it, and that's we may have all the knowledge in the world, the technology in the world to make us see what we should eat and what we should not eat, but it takes a person to really do and follow through what is important to them.
Facts. What would you like to tell the fans, the fans, what would you want the fans to understand about the fighters when it's time to negotiate certain fights? Like when the fans is like, come on, we want to see Earl Spence and Bud Crawford. Come on, cross the street. Why is the fight is not happening? What is?
Well, it is very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult because my mindset is about me, right? And their mindset is about them. They want to see the fight. They don't really care what's going on. But in my part, if I have to speak about it, but things happen for a reason. Things happen for a reason that is beyond people's ability to comprehend because they're not in the negotiation. There's so many things behind it. It could be drug testing. It could be the money that they had promised and they didn't go through with it. Or they gave you a little bit of time instead of giving you 2 months, they give you 5 weeks or 4 weeks, right? There's a lot of things that goes on beyond that. It's not just what people see is happening. +5 extension, I guess from from If you sign this fight, people. This is what happens: is that sometimes people don't have the choice for it. Sometimes
take it or leave it deal.
Like for instance, I have to sign it because of the fact that they forced me to do it because I got really no choice because of the contract that I signed. And sometimes I don't really want to do that anymore, and that's why sometimes you'll see fighters just disappear out of nowhere, So it's stuff like that, man. It's stuff like that. There's just so many things beyond what people are comprehending. And I think that, as a fighter, it's just to respect how the things work. I mean, of course, there's fighters out there that are just greedy, but it's still their lives going into that ring, and they want to make as much as possible. Some people are into that, but I guess if I had to sum it up, it's just be understandable of the situation. I know you want the entertainment, but sometimes we are working. It's kind of like you go to work and you're not being treated fair, and you want something else. And then you go on strike. People are like, why are they going on strike? They're stupid, blah, 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 blah. But they don't understand what kind of mindset you have. They don't understand what you're going through. They're just going to look at you and like, oh, man, these guys are so ungrateful for doing strike and they got work while other people don't have work. There's so many things that go beyond that. That's the same thing of why fighters fight or fights fall through. I think it's just being respectful of it all. I mean, but it's easier to said, than done. Everybody has their own agenda. Everyone has their own ways and desire and stuff like that.
It's like I was saying before. It's like they want fighters to be humble, but the fans don't want to be humble in understanding situations. Right?
They want what they want.
Right? But it's like, us in American sports, right? I think we're more educated about the business of basketball, free agency, draft, 10-day contracts. In football, we understand it, but in boxing, we don't know what's going on. So this is
the wild, wild west, man. Boxing is the wild, wild west.
It's the wild, wild west, gangster's playground. And I think that everybody has become massive conspiracy theorists. That's
everything. Right? I mean, why not? Everybody's like going, why not? Everybody's talking about the aliens. I want to talk about something else.
How many tweets if you're on Twitter? How many tweets and how many comments you be reading? And you're like, yo, these people don't know nothing.
A lot. Like they say, oh, he's scared or this. I'm like, oh God, yeah, I'm scared. I've been fighting for 21 years. I fought everybody champion for 11 or 12 world champion straight back to back, and I am scared. Oh, definitely I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny to me. It's just funny to me because again, people are gonna say what they're gonna say. There's a lack of knowledge that people don't clarify. That's the thing. The detriment of the free will is that when you have a will to learn, you also have a will to clarify things. If there's a word that's coming out and you know, you're just going out there and spreading the words without the clarity of it all. It becomes, you know, what we are as human beings. What we are as human beings is we're very tribal. We like to be in tribes. You
Yep.
know, that's why there's such mass everything. We believe in everything, and then there's other people in their group, and this group, and this group. You know, we like to be in the group. You know,
Yep.
but we have to be responsible in spreading news or words that are not facts. You know, because it kills, not only that, it kills the person's personality, what's the word, you know, the person's what's the word, I can't find the word right now, you know, his the person that he is, you know.
Mhm.
You know, it ruins the person that he is, you know.
Be honest. Be honest. Is any comment from any fan or any media personnel that really got you? Like, yo, is any comment that you probably took it into trading?
I think somebody said, that I was a beta alpha.
Beta male. They use a beta male.
A beta male. There you go. That's it. I think so. I think something like that. No. You know, when you start to yeah, that's right, baby. You know, no. But to be honest with you, there are things that just get me is when people start talking like they know me. You know, like say, oh, he's just this, he's blah blah blah, and then they put my family into it. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm the type of person that, because of my spirituality and because of the way I think now, I let a lot of things go. And like I told you, growing up, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. That was something that I've always replayed. And now that I've gotten to a point in spirituality, like I don't really feel like the words that they say is because that's their perspective, and I respect that perspective. You know, that's why, like with me, that's why I don't get offended as much as you know. And this is my honest opinion. Like people, there's a lot of people will speak of a lot of things about me, but that's, you know, that's just their perspective of me. I can't, you know, unless they talk to me, unless they have a conversation with me, then they'll get to know me and who I am and all that stuff, you know. But aside from that, you know, everyone has their own perspective, everyone has their own ways of looking at things. The human mind is this: when we don't have an answer, we're going to fill it up ourselves.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's it. You know, that's just it. And that's why for me, I don't really get into all of that stuff, man. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with what I do. You know, and again, this is just part of one of my personalities.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know,
I like the way that you emphasize family, even when you're at the top of that knockout when you won the fight, but you still just, you ain't even looking for your belt, you're looking for your sons. Come on, get in the ring. Like it seems like you all past that. Like you all that, I am the champion, but it's my family. I want my family to enjoy the height of my success at the moment, and that was cool. That was cool the way that
you know, one thing too that I'm teaching a lot of my kids is, you know, because like I'm a reactive person. I used to yell a lot. You know, that's how I grew up. I get yelled at all the time growing up. You know, and I started to yell up, and then just somehow, some way, I just realized that I'm not teaching them, and you know, I just started to came up. I mean, I read a couple books here and there about why I yell and all that. You know, and I started to realize that it's my fear of how my kids are gonna grow up, and so I nip them in the bud before I feel that they can become that person. You know, and what happens is I start yelling instead, and now. We don't yell in the house anymore because I learned that, you know, I'm going to let you do you. I'm going to make you your own mistake. I'm going to support you, but I'm not going to yell at you for dropping and breaking a glass on the floor or something. You know, it was an accident. That's fine. You know, before for a little thing, you know, we just kind of grow inside. And that's why for me, family is such a big importance of my life, is because it makes me whole as a person. You know, it makes me be humble to learn from my kids. You know, and sometimes as parents we think we know, you know, we know our you know, we know who we are, and we should be followed all the way through. When we, if we really look at growing up, our parents were always the one. If we had parents, our parents were always the one that was always growing, and we always see them growing. But you know, it's the craziest thing, you know. But I'm seeing that as with my kids now, because I want to be good to them. I want to be better. You know?
Yeah, we forget about that. That even with our parents, when we was young, they're growing too as young adults. Like my parents they got married at high school, so it's like they was, when I was young, they in the 20, 21. You know, after I'm 3 years old, they're 20. It's like, yo, they're growing too, and they made mistakes. But then when you old, then I got my own family, and I'm like, damn, they actually did pretty good with what they had, you know. How they
exactly.
it.
That's why, like, for me, I used to, you know, and the difference between my brother and I, my brother was good. My brother was good, you know, but he just let circumstances dictate his path, you know. I mean, I never, you know, when we, you know, when I mean, he just made excuses for everything, you know. And I just lost my train of thoughts here for a minute because I saw this, and you know, epoxy magic, man. Jose Lazaro, that's a long time ago, man. That's insane.
Good luck
now. Insane.
He said we've been watching Donaire since he fought Jose Lazaro. Donaire, the ups and downs he stuck with. Now he gives
epoxy magic, brother. Thank you, man. That means a lot to me, man. You know, Jose Lazaro, you know, that's a very long time ago. you know, I wouldn't even remember if you had told me until I read it myself, you know. But yeah, I was like, who is Jose Lazaro? I'm like, oh shit, I know who that guy is. I fought him. you know.
Good looking out, Magic. Man, you've been fighting for a long time. That man, you forgetting the people that you fought.
I know. I got too many there, you know. But man, yeah.
Who you knock out?
It's so funny, man. Because like some guys, you know, like, hey man, I sparred you. I'm like, you for which fight? You know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like
you break.
Yeah, no, I was like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You know, I was just, you know, trying to play it off and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's what I remember, man. I appreciate it, bro. You know?
The guy, good looking at great live. Yes, man. Shout out to the champ, for Division War champion. Yeah, you know, he said your first fight. Yeah, yep.
That's right, man. You know, at Hollywood Park Casino, you know, that's my first fight. The first fight, the Hollywood Park Casino. That's crazy.
Yeah, right. So he's from London. So he says, what you think about our Carl Frampton retirement?
You know, every man has their own time. You know, it's really a matter of where you're at mentally, because sometimes it can be really tiring. You know, if you're not enjoying it anymore, you know, you have to respect the fact that, you know, me and Carl were really good friends. After our fights, you know, it made me realize that weight was just too big for me. But, you know, we had dinner after that, or lunch after that, and we text here and there as well. But, you know, Carl Frampton is a great guy. You know, he's a great fighter from out there in Ireland.
Yes.
you know, from Belfast. And the guy from Belfast has just been amazing. I mean, they're one of the biggest. Everybody knew boxing out there. When I was there, everybody knew boxing. But, you know, I think his retirement is just the right time for him. You know, when people start to, you know, because he has his family, you know, that's telling him this and all of that stuff. I mean, you just gotta somehow, some way make that decision for yourself. For me, my wife supports me. I'm still there. I'm still enjoying my moments, you know. And there's gonna be time that, you know what, I'm just like, you know what, I feel like I just can't do this no more. I'm done, you know. But I want to do it for the longest time.
Yeah, see, you're not even talking. You're not even talking close to retirement. You hype. See, I remember Carl Frampton, and he was talking about retirement. That if he wins, I'm like, okay, he's gonna lose. I already thought he was gonna lose.
Yeah.
That retirement sets in. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I'm saying hell to the no, to the no. You know, hell to the no.
Once that set in, would you know as a fighter? You know, do your wife could look at you and then she could tell you, I think, honey, I think you're done.
100%. She can look at me and she knows everything, the way I think, the way I feel. We've just created that bond where I'm always been honest with how I am, from physical to the mental, and when I'm done, she'll definitely tell me, and I would know it myself too. I promise her that I'm always going to be honest to myself.
Yeah, man. And I think that got to be honesty in both ways, because the trainer could just know so much. The fighter has to tell also the trainer really what you're 100% mentally, physically was on your thoughts. So then they could train you. So they could, a lot
Right.
of
Well, the thing about my wife too is she fought herself. She fought all her life. Since she was 8 years old, with Taekwondo. Excuse me. She's been through so many fights, and she know exactly how a mentally defeated man or a mentally exhausted man will think, or a mentally exhausted fighter will think. It's just the desire dissipate from people's eyes. You just don't feel it. You just don't see it anymore. And the moment that you don't see that is the moment that you should get the hell out, because you'll just get hurt.
Yeah, man. That's good that you got that. I think every fighter should have that corner that believes in them and could tell them the truth in their face. There's a lot of yes men around. Yes men.
A lot. And that's the unfortunate thing, is when you get success, they pop out of nowhere, and it's your character that tells them to get the hell out. This is not the ship to be jumping in.
So how are you? Because you cool with your opponents. I saw you after the Nonito Donaire fight. I mean, after the Inoue fight. You was I think y'all took pictures together in the hotel after the day after.
So the day before, I promised my kids that that I'm gonna bring the belt. I mean, I'm gonna bring the trophy. I'm gonna give it to them.
The Muhammad Ali trophy.
Yes. And unfortunately I wasn't able to win that night. And so I went to his locker room and I asked him, like, hey, listen, I promised my kids I'm gonna, show them the trophy. It doesn't belong to me, but I'm asking if I can bring it to me today, and I'll give it to you tomorrow whenever we see each other, whatever. And so, it's like, yeah, whatever you need. He was very polite. He was very nice, nice kid. And so I brought it home and I told my kids, I was like, listen, Papa wasn't lying, but he didn't follow through with his words. He wasn't able to win the fight, but he tried his best, and I promised you guys I was going to bring this trophy. So I brought this trophy, but I have to return it to Mr. Inoue, and then my oldest started bawling, he started bawling. Why Papa? Why did you lose to him? Because like I was the guy that was undefeated in his eyes.
Yeah. Superhero.
I was a superhero.
Immortal.
Yes, exactly. And so, and I told him, in times, we face sometimes somebody's better than us in moments. Doesn't mean that they are better than us. It's just at this time he was better than me. In life, we are confident to get something, and sometimes life hits us and we don't get it, and that's okay. We just work harder than that. And I think that was one of my inspiration of why I got back into the gym right off the bat and got to this level again, is because I want my kids to know that I tried hard, that I don't just sit. And when I fall, I don't just stay there. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get better. And I told them I'm better now, and I just I always want to show my kids of the story of life, that there's an up and there is a down. There's darkness, is light. And in doing so, is realizing it and moving on from it, and getting better and learning from it. And that's pretty much what I've shown them. In the last fight, my eldest was like, Papa, why don't we ever get to see you fight? Because I was like, well, I mean, if this is, the time came, I was like, okay, if y'all want to see me fight, then you guys could see me fight. And so that's why they were there. Yeah. When they were young, I used to bring them around, but then it came to a point where they were just all over the place. And, I said, you know what, just calm down. Until this time, this fight, the last fight, where my eldest was like, Papa, why don't we go to your fight? And so I brought them, you know, and then they're
And
gonna
they
be my
happy.
fight from
They
here
saw
on now.
they
You
saw the
know,
immortal. They saw the immortal.
yeah,
They saw the
yeah,
superhero. You beat that
yeah.
son.
So, yeah, so you know, but you know, and I want them to understand that, you know, I mean, they see me train, and I train hard, you know, but now they see that in my efforts, you know, in victories to defeat or whatever it may come, is it's part of the story of our lives, you know, and whatever it may be, I know what they see in me is that I'm always striving for betterness, to better myself, to better myself. I mean, they see me not yelling at them anymore, you know, and instead giving them hugs, you know. So they're looking at me and they're like, okay, my dad's learning, you know,
He's
my
doing.
dad's trying, you know.
He's
And I always tell my kids, like, Papa, I'm trying. I'm like, no, we don't try, we do it, you know. Because like I'm like, because like I always tell them, like, I'm doing this, buddy, I'm doing this, you know. And then, you know, and that's it. The simple words we shift and create, you know, is a big factor of how our mind can relate, you know, or can be pushed, you know.
But you know, it's funny because it's yes, it's like, yeah, you was talking about your kid, and they may see you like as immortal. Guess what? A lot of the boxing world saw one guy as a monster. While you got humbled, or you could say humbled by the L, the loss, you humble the whole world that this guy's not a monster. It's like Rocky 4. He's not a machine. He's a man. He's not a monster. He's a man.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
Right. That's
And
right.
even in that defeat, he suffered a orbital bone that he probably could have it could have ended a career.
Yep.
So sometimes it's not even about winning or losing, but it's how you win and how you lose. Like, yeah,
Right.
you may take
Right.
an L, but he got in a position where he could have lost his career because of his eye.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Well, definitely, I'm still in his mind. I think I believe that.
oh yeah.
I
And
believe that.
and,
This is why he wants to face me, and I want to face him, because he wants that boogeyman in his head out, you
mhm.
know. And then for me, it you know, it's just me being the way I was, you know, the way I am now, you know, coming back into it even stronger with so many with all my experience into it. And I 100% believe in my mind that I'm gonna beat him the next time.
What would you do different if you could say now? Don't give all the strategy, but
I
what
don't
would you
know.
do? What would you different? Huh?
There's a lot of things I'm doing, but one thing that's different coming into it is the game plan.
All right.
That's something that I didn't go into this fight with a game plan. Now with this fight, it's going to be with an amazing game plan.
All right, so
You know?
Rachel, you got a Twitter DM, and be like, "Hey, yo, this is the game plan, punch." You know,
Yeah. And I'll tell you guys the odds, okay? Because the last two fights, she's won a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
A lot of money.
Hey, see, I even bet on boxing.
I don't bet. They do. They never tell me because I don't bet.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? Yeah, I tell them, if you guys are bet, don't tell me. I don't care. You know.
No wonder she had that smile in the face right after the fight. You know,
Dude,
you won, and she was
3
still
to
serious.
1. Okay, on the Obali fight, it was 3 to 1, and she put a lot of money in it. So, you know, I guess we either go broke or we go rich. You know? So don't tell me. Just don't tell me.
All right. What is the other than your fights? What are the biggest fights? What are the biggest fights that you're looking forward to in boxing, other than your own fight?
Well, you know, man, I mean, I want to see a Crawford and Spence fight.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a good fight. I mean, right now I'm one thing I'm big biased on is my boy Jesse Vargas is fighting Liam Smith. I'm gonna be the head trainer for that fight. So
Oh yeah.
you know, yeah. I've been training, I think, with Jesse. So
Wow. So this is your debut, or you done it before?
is my debut. You know, I've helped out here and there, but I've never been on the corner. You know, I've helped a lot of people up. You know, but this is the first time that I'm actually gonna be speaking in the corner as the head trainer for the fight.
That's what's up. Nonito
Yeah,
Donaire,
man.
trainer,
Yeah,
man.
dude. Yeah, and of course, my wife is gonna be. You know, she's the head and she's the strength and conditioning for Jesse as well as mine and all the fighters that work with us. You know, so we are very confident that Jesse's gonna be 100% so much stronger. He's gonna have Nonito Donaire left hook.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. And you running for office too?
He is running for office, man. You
running against him?
No, I'm with him, man. I always run with my boys, man. It's good. He's very focused and he doesn't let any of that stuff, get in the way. But he is very focused also in what he does, as in his fight for in running for office. He wants to do it. He wants to help all the minorities and all the people that are in need in terms of having a voice for them. I'm starting to talk like I'm a politician,
right? Like, watch him, Manny Pacquiao.
I ain't never on politics, man. I can't. My wife's gonna kill me because she handles all of it in the first place.
Senator Nonito Donaire sounds good to me. Manny Pacquiao president.
I can't. It doesn't ring good for me, man. It doesn't ring good. I can't hear it. All I hear is Nonito Donaire. I don't hear nothing else.
So of course that's the fight. Inoue. I don't want to keep you too long. I'm blessed. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to a legend like yourself. Casimero. If it's 100%, not,
man. If he has my belt, I'm taking it. That's it.
All right.
That's it.
How you like about his performance versus Rigondeaux?
I don't know if anybody really like that,
I like Rigondeaux's skills and talent, and I try not to be that type of fan but I said I don't want to see that guy on national TV. I'm sorry, man, but it felt like he was just two pot shot and two running. I didn't like that. I like no. Maybe I had drinks in the system, but anyway. But I just can't.
Well, everybody, like I said, people are always gonna be like their own perspective, right? And all of that stuff. Like when people think that he's running away from Casimero and stuff like this, or whatever it is, or the fight didn't happen. People are always gonna look at it differently, right? When there's so much more behind it, But for him, in the way he does stuff, I mean, it's not a fan friendly fight, and it doesn't help the boxing world, And
I don't want to see that fight. No.
But I mean, the guy, got the best out of me in the decision against my fight, But the thing is, it's the sport is sport. And there's gonna be pure boxing guys that loves that stuff, and that's okay, But yeah, with the whole thing is going back into Casimero stuff, we want to make that fight happen. We tried to make that fight happen, except that when we did, again, going back into the live, when we faced off, for the live, they never got the contract. That I signed my contract. They never did get their contract because the issue that they have with Sean Gibbons and stuff like that. He even came out and said that they have issues together and all that stuff, and this is why they never got to sign the contract because they never seen it.
And now you got the 2 knockout streak, and it seems like you're just more comfortable after your loss. They should have got you before that. Now you like a well-oiled machine, Casimero. Y'all waiting too long.
You got the momentum, man. When the momentum is going, it's hard to stop, man. Can't stop, won't stop.
The invincibility creeps in, and then you want that. You want that because you've been in there before. How does it? Like I tell people that Canelo Alvarez, he's in that Black Mamba Jordan aura right now. Like ain't nobody could beat him, and you've been in that situation. Like ain't nobody faster than me, ain't nobody quicker than me, ain't nobody could see me, ain't nobody could crack harder than me. How is that? Like that?
That's how I'm feeling right now. And that's why when you say the monster, call me a monster hunter because I'm gonna be hunting monster in that day.
Say when you look at the monster, you know what? You're just looking at Elmo. right now. You're looking at the puppet world. You're looking at the Muppets. You're looking at the Muppets right now. You ain't
You know, that, but that's just it, man. You know, when the momentum sets in, when the confidence gets in, and you start to manifest within your body, within your spirit. I mean, that's when Pacquiao was that person. I mean, he just ran through everybody, and I feel that's I'm in that level right now where I'm untouchable when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and it's believing it, and it's like you proving it in the ring. It's not like you're. I don't take it like a person, like you know how every fighter say, "Oh, I'm in the best shape of my life. This is the best training camp of my career." You know. But when I hear you say it, I'm like, "Yeah, no, he's serious. No, he's."
I mean, I got a lot of options though, you know. And again, going back into it, and I got the 115, and even going back to 122. You know, I got a lot of options to you know, if anything ever doesn't somehow materialize. I mean, there's a lot of options. You know, again with Estrada and Chocolatito, and then again 122 with Fulton, you know, and all those guys.
I like Kosuto Yoka too. I'm a fan of Kosuto Yoka. I'm a fan of
Yeah,
Kosuto Yoka.
Yoka, yeah. Yoka's good too. You know, he's one of those guys that just kind of like me. You know, just coming from the grave and rising. You know,
Yeah.
So you know, but yeah, there's a lot of options out there, man. There's a lot of things that is a possibility for me. You know, because I can go up in weight, I can go down in weight, and I'm just blessed with this amazing physical body that allows me to do so without having a big problem. You know. So
now I was just thinking about when I was in Manny Pacquiao and Inoue and Casimero's team was there, and I did the video, and I'm like, "Hey, you better treat Rachel right. Everything's gonna be good. You're gonna treat her right."
Hey, they came and challenged her in the first place. You know, it's like you can't play this fight. I challenge you, and guess what? Boom.
Yo, that was the gangster Nonito Donaire. I said you went gangster on him. Damn.
Hey, you know, like I said, man, we've been in the game for too long, man. We ain't got time to play. You know, you want to make the fight happen? Let's make the fight happen. That's it. You know, let's do it. You can talk all your shit. I don't give a fuck. Excuse me. I
don't worry, man. It's YouTube, man.
Yeah, I just, you know, I start to embody the boxing scene, you know, the boxing guy, the boxing persona that, you know, I just, you know, I get this person, you know, and so pardon my French.
Don't worry, we speak French, right?
yeah, we do speak good French.
I remember when I saw that, yo, and that was over here. I remember that's like 3 o'clock in the morning in New York, right? And that was live, and I'm like, and I'm screen recording. I'll say, "Oh shit, y'all don't need to know that." Man, he's going gangster on these guys right now. You know, I can't wait to do the video on this.
No, but I mean, you know, it's with me, I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty happy. I'm a very happy person. I'm a really, really happy person. I respect everybody, even if they don't go my way, or they don't see me in that level or in that way. And or we call it the haters and stuff like that. That's people. I don't mind. You know, that's people's opinion. That's people's perspective. And you know, we all have that. And that's what makes us a human being, is we have our choice to like or not. You know, and so that's why I don't take it as that. But when I do embody this fighter, man, he don't give a nothing over nothing. You know, he's just going out there and just fight. You know, so when that person comes in there, it's just like one mind. I'm just gonna hurt you. That's it.
Yeah. And hey, that Nonito Donaire, he sells too, man.
Well, the thing is, the mindset that I do when I'm in there is like, you either take me out, or I'm, you know, it's like, I don't want to make it boring, because I have a goal, and that is to take you out. Like when I win a decision, it's cool, but I prefer a knockout? 100%.
Yeah. What's the and like, again, like I said, I like the way that you drew the line. A man's man understood everything. When it comes to boxing, yeah, even I was like, "Come on, Nonito, man."
Yeah,
it's just a part
time
of the
will tell. Though. See, that's the thing, is that I don't look at it from what it is now, because I know at any moment in time it can happen.
Yeah.
You know, because my goal in itself is, I'm going to take that belt. I'm going to take all those belts. You know, and I'm going to make you realize where you're at compared to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why I don't, you know, I set the stone to however I want things to be, not because I'm an a-hole about it, but because I'm making a statement, like you're trying to make a statement, you know. But my words are bigger than yours, you know, and that's how it's going to be. You know, I put my time, I did my due diligence to get to where I'm at, where my voice matters, you know, and there's not going to be any question about it, you know. I mean, all these guys they're just a joke when it comes down to. I mean, they're challenging my wife, calling my wife this, calling, you know, it's like calling my wife to fight you and stuff like that. And I mean, it's weird to me, man. You know, it's like for me, I don't get into it. Like if it was just me, you can talk all you smack, but me as a man, I'm gonna protect my wife. You talk smack about my wife, I'm gonna be right in your face. You know, and I keep telling them, it's like you can talk all you want, but please do say it in my face.
Yeah.
You know, you know. So, but this is me. I'm very old school when it comes down to a lot of the things. You know, I don't talk, I just do it.
You should have spoke to Shane Mosley when what's his name? Ricardo Mayorga. Remember he smacked he smacked Shane Mosley wife in the ass. Remember that promotion?
Yeah, his girlfriend. It was his girlfriend.
Oh,
yeah.
His girlfriend. I'm like that promotion right there. Like you sold your soul. You sold your soul. That's that.
Yeah, no.
That's you got to go that far to sell a fight.
Yeah, that's you know, that's just it's not, you know, it's I can't even think of a word, man. I just
that's like you're selling, like you sold your girlfriend to the
one thing that you'll ever get with me is I will never ever, not for money, not for fame, not for anything, ever compromise my integrity. You'll see it 100%.
I like that.
That's my character. I will never ever sell my integrity or compromise my integrity of what I believe. Thank y'all, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. The left hook, bro. You know, maybe I'll put a video on here one of these days in how to throw the left hook properly with power.
Yeah, turn the knuckle. I had that issue too. I I never like to use the turn. Sometimes turn that knuckle.
So okay, let me tell you the turn, right? So you see a lot of the guys like Triple G, right?
Mm-hmm.
He turns, right? He turns.
Yeah. I like that.
You get a guy like Oscar who throws his like an uppercut hook, right? It's an angle, right? It's an angle. So boom, he does that, and then Canelo does the same thing. You know, he. The thing is when you use this, right, like this, instead of turning it. Now, when you turn it, if you press on the bicep, it's really soft.
Oh.
Meaning you're not utilizing that muscle. You're wasting that muscle. Okay. Now, granted that Triple G has a strong forearm. That's why he works on his forearm. But that's where his power comes from.
Yeah.
What my power comes from is from my toes to my calves to my hamstrings to my thighs to my chest to my back to my whatever, my chest, you know, and shoulder. So when you do this, you're actually feeling all your muscles being engaged, right? So that's where the power comes from, because boom, I have all of the leverage from all. That's why even though I'm small, I'm skinny. I mean, the biggest guy I've ever knocked out or knocked down was a 170 pounder on a sparring, using a gloves, 16 ounce, and a headgear.
Wow! And you knocked
right on the chin.
It was a headshot.
Well, it wasn't even one punch. It was an overhand and a hook, and then I came up with another hook. Boom, dropped him. You know.
Hey,
yeah. So, needless to say, you know, with proper balance and proper usage of your muscle, you can create your power to an extent 10 times stronger than a lot of people in your weight class.
You only got boys, right?
I got 2 boys, yeah.
Oh, because I was gonna ask you a question about women boxing. Do you watch the ladies?
I do watch women boxing. I mean, I have a couple of friends like Jelena. I don't know how to say her name, her last name, whatever. Yeah, she's probably laughing at me if she sees this. But you know, I support what people do. I mean, you know, it's a different time now. It's a different time. You know, you can't go back and have that old mentality that men should be working and hunting and you know, which they should still do, but women also has that privilege to, you know, to do what they want to do, you know. But when it comes down to it, a lot of people have different opinions when it comes to it. It's kind of like the women in basketball,
Yeah.
they all have that different opinion. But I think a lot of it is because it is driven by the old mentality of how they see women in the first place, But
I
I mean,
love
I
women
know I
boxing.
know a lot of women boxings who are incredible.
Yeah, I
You
love
know,
women boxing.
you know,
I can't wait
incredible.
for Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. I can't wait for that.
That's a great fight.
I think that's the best, the biggest. Like people like to say, this is the biggest fight of women boxing 2022. I think it's one of the biggest fights in boxing.
Boxing, yeah.
Yeah, it's decorated. Katie Taylor is undisputed. Amanda Serrano, 7 division world champion. So it's a big fight.
It's a huge fight, and exactly, they deserve the respect.
Damn, if we get that fight, we get Estrada Chocolatito 3, we get Nonito Inoue, or Nonito Casimero. Who else? Maybe the Undisputed in the heavyweight division. I think my 2022 is gonna be good.
It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be good.
Oh man, it's gonna be on, man. 2022
can you promise us, like you promised your son, that you're gonna get? Can you promise us we're gonna get Nonito Donaire, Inoue, or Casimero? We're gonna do that.
My goal this year again, the undisputed champion of the world, Nonito, the Filipino Flash, Donaire. That's 2022 right there. That's 2022.
You ain't wasting no time.
Nope, I ain't got no time to waste. I am 21 years old, man. But I still do have a lot of time. I do still have a lot of time, and that's my goal this year. That's definitely my goal this year, is becoming the undisputed champion of the world.
That's what I'm talking about, Flash, man. You hyping me up right now. You hyping me up right now.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm hyped too. I'm hyped too.
Not because you here, but I think the rematch is actually going to turn into a better fight than the first. I think you're going to do better than the first fight.
Oh man, 100%. The thing is, if he does the same thing over and over in what I've seen, it's done.
And it's just like how you ended the fight. Like he couldn't get you. Even though, I thought that probably that the it would have landed earlier, but then you got up, and then I saw, all right, what else does he got?
Yep.
When you
I took them all, man. I took them all.
That's it.
I took them all. And he hasn't taken my old because I didn't use my gloves that I used to use.
Part of the negotiations.
I'm using my gloves this time. So be watchful, be mindful. It's gonna be a different fight. But let's not give it all because we want to be 3-1 underdog, maybe 5-1 underdog. I don't care. Just give me to be the underdog. At least a couple points. So the wife is like making the money.
Yeah, man. Las Vegas, you think Las Vegas? I know it's gonna be on the West Coast if it's here.
We are on a negotiation with a lot of things, with a lot of guys, everybody in the from 115 to 122. But we're that's Richard's voice to speak on, after when everything comes into fruition.
All right, Richard. All right, Richard, make it happen, Rich.
That's right. Because right now, Japan is closed because of COVID. So they gotta come up with something.
Again?
Yeah, again. I mean, there's the new variant that just came out of France, and some other place. So there's 2 new variants that just came out. So if you guys be mindful, be careful, be safe, be healthy, man. That's a choice that we can have that'll combat, all of the sickness that we have in our lives.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah, you had an issue with the.
I had 2 COVID.
Yeah, 2 COVID.
I got COVID twice.
Damn. Before the Bali, right?
Before the Bali, and the one before that was the one when I was supposed to fight. I got it 2020 when I was gonna fight Manny Rodriguez, and then that didn't happen. And then the one before this fight. Yeah, got it twice. But I'm blessed because I'm healthy. that I didn't really have any symptoms. I had very minimal symptoms. The first one was the old variant, which was the smell. That's the only thing that disappeared for a couple of days was the smell, and went back. You know, when it took me 3 days to get it out of my system. You know, and then this last one, it was 4 days to get out of my system, but it was more of like a hay fever. You know, but I did a lot of stuff to get it out of my system. I use my body to be a place where they don't want to multiply in there, you know, because I rinse my nose constantly with saline rinse, and then I was in the sauna every day to sweat, you know, because I had sauna in the house. You know, I sweat it all out, drink a lot of water, just over and over and over and over, and then within 2 or 3 days, 3 days it disappeared out of my system. You know, the first one, and then the second one was 4 days. So when you do get it, make sure that it becomes a place where they don't want to multiply.
Okay.
You know, meaning that do your due diligence. You know, rinse your nose so the mucus doesn't multiply. The virus doesn't multiply in your mucus. You know, get all that boogers out, get all that stuff out of your nose. You know, and then sweat yourself out. You know, so it's constantly, you know, detoxifying your system. You know,
ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what we got. What we just received. We got Nonito Donaire, the fighter. Nonito Donaire, the pastor. Nonito Donaire, the motivator. Nonito Donaire,
the doctor.
The doctor. That's what I'm talking about, man. This guy.
Hey, you know what? We have all the choice to learn for ourselves what is important for ourselves. You know, like especially with COVID, man. For me, you know, for me, huh?
And the nutritionist,
I do my own nutrition. Yes, I'll do my own nutrition, you know, and that's why I never had a problem with making weight. Not once in my entire life, from the amateurs to the professionals, that I missed a weight.
That's good, man.
You know, so yeah, that's it, man.
Man, thank you, Nonito Donaire, man, for sharing your experience. Also for the young fighters as well. Earlier, your spirituality, fatherhood, marriage, trainer, fighting, everything else, man.
That's right. That's all part of our lives, man. Whatever part of our life, we want to learn about it.
There's your casa. There's your casa. You can come through whenever you want.
For sure, man. Thank you for having me, man. You know, thank you for having me. And
what are the platforms that you, because you got the mic, I see Beyond the Ring.
I have my own channel, which is Beyond the Ring with Nonito and Rachel. You know, we have Filipino interviews, and then we also have English interviews. So we go back and forth, you know, with our Filipino fans and our American fans and English fans, you know, and all that stuff, you know, whatever the case, in learning about the next fight, learning about boxing, and then just learning about life. You know, we used to have an episode, and I think we're gonna come back with it, learning about nutrition and taking care of your body. You know, and of course we do a lot of mental. Because for me, I'm a big believer in mental fortitude. You know, creating mental awareness, mental health. You know, because I believe that that's the only way we can be happy is when we create that mindset to be, you know, and becomes a choice.
Thank you, DSV. He said, great interview, Punch. Please ask about Fulton before he leaves. Meaning, Stephen Fulton. Well, he's a division above Nonito. What do you think about Stephen Fulton?
DSV we did ask, because I told you, you know, we were at 115 to 122. We're good with it, but unfortunately, you know, yeah, I mean, that's something that you know Richard's gonna be dealing with, you know, but we would love to ask all of that stuff. We would love to create all of that stuff. And again, 115, 122, 118, you name it, man. But Fulton, if that name comes around, you know, we'll go for it, you know, or whoever it is, man. But you know, I'm the type of person that fight anybody. You know, when they can make it happen, when we all can make it happen. I mean, whatever it is, man, I'm all there. But you know, will I ask for it? You know what? That'll probably be on the list of the things that we need to do in the coming days.
Damn, look at that. He won everybody.
That's right, man. You know, I told you, I ain't got no time to waste, man.
Damn right. He won it all.
That's right, man. I mean, I'm making the best out of everything, man. You know, the life the career. You know, I mean, when there are opportunities given, you take it. You know, you take it, because you know, who knows what can, you know, what it can lead to. You know, there's so many opportunities in our lives that we see that we don't take because of fear. You know,
Yeah.
let fear be in the background, because in every aspect of our lives there's always going to be fear, because that is in this body, in this instinct of ours. You know, it's already written in our mind, but we also have a way to free ourselves by making the choice.
Yeah, man. Thank you, thank you again for blessing us with your words, and thank you for putting yourself on the line for pure entertainment. Of course, to take care of your family. But I always see every fighter, my modern day warriors, modern day gladiators. I walk into the sport of boxing. My friend died in sparring. That's how I got introduced to the sport. So trust me, I fought people in amateur in like in the what you call it, like as a spectators, when they used to yell out, "Yo, that's a bum." I hate when people say that. If you want to see me,
Go in there, go in there.
yo,
Yeah.
I hate when people call fighters bums and all the derogatory names, because yo, y'all special human beings, man. Y'all special
We
human
work
beings.
hard, man. You know, and it you know, for a lot of fighters, I mean, we start from the very beginning. You know, from the young age at times. You know, and we put our lives on mine. I mean, there was, you know, also rest in peace to the guy from Russia who fought and lost his life. You know, this is what we go through. We always constantly put our lives on the line. You know, and this is, you know, this is one thing that we got to give respect to all the fighters.
Facts, man. Everybody respect the fighters. Damn it.
Yes, sir.
All right, my brother, man. Thank you again. Thank you again. You, Rach, your family. Thank you again for sharing your skills and talent to the world, man. We appreciate you, and keep on. We're going to see more. We're going to see more greatness, man.
That's right, man. I really appreciate you having me here, man. And to everybody out here, thank you guys for an amazing question. Hopefully next time we'll get to answer all the questions that everybody out had out here. But please check out my my YouTube channel, Beyond the Ring with Nonito and Rachel, to learn a lot about me and what's coming up next, and all the stuff that I have in my head in terms of inspiration, motivation, and being a human being, you know. And signing off, this Beta Male is signing off.
Alpha, Alpha.
No, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me, brother.
Thanks, brother.